Taking a full look at weather now, Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca. We've been getting some of the warnings late into the night, and I think you're going to have to keep an eye on this thing over the night.
Yeah, of course, we're going to be here with you through the overnight hours. Erica will be taking over for me, and then we'll be live on Wake Up from 5 to 7, and then we'll be here throughout the day tomorrow to get you through the storm as well, whether it's on air or online. And make sure to download our app, the KION Weather Authority app, and sign up for the alerts to make sure that you're getting any flooding alerts that are coming to your home. Now, I want to take you on a little trip down the river with me. This is the atmospheric river pushing across the Pacific Ocean. Here's the west coast right here. I just want you to visualize a stream of moisture heading toward the coast, because we are right in the middle of it. We are like a rock in the stream here. Here's the Monterey Bay area, and it's coming right toward us. And notice we're in the middle of it right now. Doesn't seem too bad outside. I mean, it's been a little bit blustery as well at times during the day today. We've been dealing with some showery activity as well, but this is all going to pick up slowly. One of the reasons is we are moistening from the top down right now. We're getting the top of this atmospheric river, and as it gets closer to us, it will start thickening up. The moisture will start getting thicker toward the surface, and once it does that, we'll have all levels of the atmosphere saturated with moisture, and all of that moisture is being pushed up against our mountain ranges. And you think, well, that sounds nice. It's blocking everything for us, but what is happening out there is this moisture is continuing to push right in and up over those mountain ranges, and as it does so, it is lifted up. When the moisture is lifted up, it cools, and as the air cools, it can hold less moisture, and the rain starts to precipitate out of it. So you start to see all of the rain falling with this system, and that's just going to keep going for like 12 to 16 hours across the region. I want to zoom in really quickly here to the actual radar picture tonight. And what you're seeing here is just kind of the start of everything. The moisture really starting to work its way in. We've seen some light showers so far, but it's really thickening to our west. And already the rain really kind of ongoing on our coastal mountains, and that trend is going to continue as we head throughout the overnight and into the day tomorrow. So it's raining now, and it's going to keep raining until probably the early afternoon for most locations in the mountains. And in some cases, we're talking 1/4 of an inch an hour to 1/2 an inch an hour, and maybe even more than that. And in some cases, on some of our higher peaks, we could be approaching over 10 inches of rain in the coastal mountains, especially in the Santa Lucia range, which looks like it's going to get the brunt of this storm. So it's an ongoing rain event. Some of that rain will get weeded out, and in our valley bottoms, we won't see as much rain, certainly. I'm not expecting 10 inches of rain in Salinas. Salinas will probably get 1 inch of rain. Santa Cruz, probably 2 inches of rain. Watsonville, maybe 2.5, 3 inches of rain, something like that. Monterey, maybe 1.5 inches. So for a lot of our cities around the bay, we're not going to get completely buried in rain, but the mountains are, and all of that water runs downhill toward our cities, and that's where we start seeing the problems. And still, a couple inches of rain for our coastal cities when the ground is saturated is going to mean at least some minor to moderate flooding. So there is a lot to be concerned about during the period. I want to start with the wind threat overnight. Winds starting to pick up tonight. We're looking at 10, 20 miles per hour. They will keep increasing, and like our last system where we saw the gusty winds, I think there are same trouble spots. The coastal areas from the peninsula down to Big Sur, western Santa Cruz County, basically from the west side of Santa Cruz up into the mountains as well. Some areas won't be quite as windy. We do get some rain or wind shadows as well, like on the north side of Monterey or the south side of Monterey Bay. You can see that little hole there around Seaside and Marina. You don't get as much wind in those locations, but in our valleys, they funnel. Hollister, Salinas, we get those winds funneling through the valleys, and on the ridge tops, it's going to be very gusty. Now, as far as the timing is concerned, it's really going to be the next 6 to 8 hours. I expect the most winds. We'll take you to around 7 a.m. And notice we're already starting to see the winds decrease from north to south across the region. And in fact, by late afternoon, the winds are kind of focused more so over our southern mountains. So I think for most cities around the bay, you're going to see your strongest winds between around 3 and 6, 7 a.m. That's when we'll see the gustiest winds. So you may wake up to power outage or a blocked roadway in your neighborhood. And I do expect some of that with these gusty winds. They won't be as strong as the last system, but again, keep in mind, the ground is saturated. The trees, they basically want to fall down at this point in time. There's just not much holding them up because their root systems just can't handle all of the moisture in the ground. The other thing is a trailing system will get the winds blowing again overnight tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. So that's going to get the wind blowing again. So we're not going to be done with the wind threat, even though we will calm down a bit tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's focus on the rain now. We can see the rain picking up over the coastal mountains as we head through the overnight hours. And by picking up, I mean just kind of staying continuous here. So, you know, when I forward the radar here, we're going to keep looking, or our future radar, it's going to look the same hour by hour by hour, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Not much change out there because the atmospheric river is just going to stay over us. Now, it's not to say we won't have a few gaps here and there, but ultimately, it's this persistence of moderate to heavy rain in the coastal mountains, which is going to cause all of the problems. That rain slowly runs down into the mountains, into the valleys, so you have the immediate threat in the mountains and in the small creeks and streams, on the streets where the rain is falling heavily, and then we have a later threat in the rivers after everything runs down and starts filling up in our valleys and moving toward the ocean. So in some cases, overnight tonight, we may not see too many problems, but if you live along small streams and low areas where that rain collects quickly, you'll start seeing problems by tomorrow morning pretty quickly. Now, as we head into the late morning, early afternoon, some of the latest model trends thankfully showing less rain across Santa Cruz County. This is 11 a.m. Still seeing some heavier precipitation on the north side of the bay. And then by 2 p.m., still seeing some heavier rain showers here. And then eventually this is going to slowly move to the south a little bit. But still, I am expecting some significant rainfall in our coastal mountains before all is said and done tomorrow. So even if you might hear something like, oh, it's trending drier in my neighborhood, which may be the case, I still urge you to listen to your local officials about evacuation warnings and evacuation orders. They are talking in concert with their emergency management personnel, the National Weather Service, and even with the media. We're all kind of working together to make sure people get the best information about this storm. And in some cases, you're going to get through the day tomorrow and think, well, not much happened in my place. And they were kind of going a lot crazy like this, but I think in some cases a lot of people will be in situations where, you know, they're going to be dealing with damage to their homes and hopefully no life-threatening issues. But, you know, there's a lot of water that's going to come down in our coastal mountains. And then to top that off, the trailing system will bring another round of heavy rain, a faster round, but another round of heavy rain and thunderstorms overnight tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. So let's quickly talk about some rainfall totals. These are the latest projections here. Now, this is just for cities. Notice the city names on here. This doesn't really include how much you get in the mountaintops. And I am expecting 5 to 10 inches in the Santa Lucia range and in order of the 4 to 8 inches in the Santa Cruz Mountains along the mountaintops. So a lot of that rain again is going to head downhill. There is potential for some river flooding, especially as we head into late Monday into Tuesday. And again, we'll have that next wave, which will bring probably another inch of rain, maybe 2 on top of everything. Now, as we look at our 7-day forecast here, keep in mind we are going to get a break for Wednesday and Thursday before another system comes in. I do quickly want to share with you just some quick river projections. So this is through this is through the U.S. Geological Survey. You're looking at the San Lorenzo River, expected to peak at 22.8 feet in the major flood stage, and that is going to be Monday early evening. Okay, and we go next to the Pajaro River, expected to peak early Tuesday morning at 32.8 feet, just about a foot shy of the record, which is again pretty close to major flood stage there. That's why there's the concern there, because if the water tops the levee, the water can erode the levee, and then it allows more water to go on the other side of the levee, and that is the concern in the Pajaro River drainage. Here is the Pacheco Creek, and there is expected to get to 19.3 feet late tomorrow evening. And again, that will potentially flood low-lying areas north of Hollister and in the Dunnville area. Here's the Carmel River, which is going to get a lot of water. It's expected to get over 11 feet, which is moderate flood stage, and that is late tomorrow night. Here's the Big Sur River, expected to get to 11.4 feet, again early tomorrow evening. And that is one area I also have some concern about because of all the rain flowing in the Santa Lucias. And finally, this is the Salinas River, expected to get to 24.8 feet. That's on Tuesday at Spreckles, so minor flooding there. Again, that's going to be a much bigger valley that can hold a lot more rain. But we're watching all of these things closely for you, friends. We're going to keep you up to date. We're back after this.